So full disclosure, I am not the public speaker in my family. I leave that up to my amazing wife, Kate, who's here with me tonight. But when they came to me and asked me to speak about the GSBA scholarship, there wasn't a good reason to say no. This is one of the most amazing organizations in the world, so thank you for having me. It's incredible to be in a room full of so many inspiring scholars. I'm already crying, and I barely started. It gives me hope and excitement to think about you all as our next generation of leaders, innovators, and social justice advocates. So tonight I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and the impact that the scholarship has made on my life. Growing up in Northern California, I knew that I had always been passionate about social justice. I think I learned it from my dad. Ask anyone who has ever spent any time with me, and they will tell you that I have a lot to say about it, and I say it very loudly and with a lot of conviction. I knew at a very young age that I wanted to create and live in a world that is equitable and just. Graduating from high school and starting college, I was excited about getting out into the world to make the difference that I wanted to. I'll bet many of you in this room share the same dream. What happened next? Well, everything changed. In October 1991, when I was 19, I was diagnosed with HIV. I went from being a happy teenager, looking forward to a future, to someone who was given a few years to live. And as you remember, the early 90s was not a great time to have HIV or AIDS. We were surrounded by a ton of stigma, misinformation, and paranoia. It took me a long time to recover from letting go of my dreams. School went out the window. I wanted to make most of my life as short as it was going to be, and I did not want to waste any time in the classroom. However, I did continue to care about social justice. I spent my late teens and early 20s fighting for the rights of people living with HIV and AIDS. Through this experience, I learned I had a lot to learn about the world. Coming from a middle-class family, I had been sheltered from some of the horrors that people in our community face. I realized that I had a lot to learn, but as it turns out, thanks to great medication, a lot of left life to live. My early 20s turned into my mid-20s, and then I turned 30. Turning 30 is a big deal for most of us, but for me it meant that I had survived way longer than I had expected, and I did actually have that future, and I had no idea what to do next. I was incredibly fortunate to have a mentor who encouraged me to increase my impact in social justice by going back to school. Hearing these words from someone I so respected meant the world to me and helped me believe that I could do it. So despite all the desire and excitement about going back to school, I had to overcome a lot of self-confidence, a lack of self-confidence, as well as I didn't have any money to do it. Thankfully, someone told me about the GSBA scholarship. I was pretty sure that I was not the kind of scholar that they were looking for. I was too old, I wasn't scholarly enough, but thankfully I took the leap of faith. And it paid off. Thank you. And it wasn't about the money. Okay, the money was amazing and wonderful, but it was actually about the experience and the connection to our community. During the interview meetings where you meet with some volunteers for the community and they ask you questions about what you want to do with your life, sitting in those rooms and talking about myself changed everything for me. It gave me the confidence that I needed, and their belief in me gave me belief in myself. Coming to dinners like this, thank you. Coming to dinners like this and feeling like people really cared about my success has stayed with me long since I have been done with school. I'm proud of the work that I have done since graduating with a bachelor's from Antioch University and a master's in social work from the University of Washington. Since graduating, I have been really busy following my dreams. For instance, I ran an LGBT youth group in Colorado. I taught LGBT 101 to freshmen in a rural conservative community. Imagine that. And I worked with healthcare providers to create the first trans-inclusive health community center in Boulder, Colorado. Thank you. When we moved back to Seattle, I had the opportunity to work for the IF Project with incarcerated women in Gig Harbor. I created a mentoring program where we matched women in the community with women getting out of prison, and I also got to create and teach 12-week self-care classes at the prison with the women. Amazing. So what have I learned from these experiences? The LGBT youth coming out in rural conservative Colorado inspire me to be brave every day and speak my truth. The women at Purdy, the women's prison, who are trying so hard to grow and overcome huge issues, help remind me the value of unwavering faith. I am so happy to be here after 25 years of living with HIV. And most importantly, I am living the life that I always dreamed of. Thank you to the GSBA and to all the people who support this scholarship program. You are making a huge difference in our lives, and you are making a huge difference in the lives of others. So when I was awarded the scholarship, I felt a little intimidated by all the people in the room, right? So please take a moment after this event to meet and get to know some of the scholars. Give them a word of encouragement and even offer to mentor them. Mentoring played a huge part in my experience and growth and success, and I promise you it will mean the world to them. To all of the new scholars in the room, I can't wait to see what you all accomplish. Thank you.